Hour number 2 of the show here on your Thursday. Matt and Patrick, we do have a little bit of snow coming through the metro area. Nothing major right now. They're saying less than an inch of snow total, so don't be surprised by that. We have to find out what it's like up in Duluth, though, so why not? Paul Metsa is kind enough to join us. Of course, Wall of Power Radio Hour here on the radio station, an iconic Minnesota musician, and he is kind enough to take some time today to talk about things. How are things up north right now? Are you really snowy there?
It's not a lot of snow, but it is really windy.
Oy. Well, you're on the lake there. That's where you get, there the puppy is there.
Puppies are always there.
So, we wanted to bring you on today because,
Thank you.
and my pleasure, man. It's like anytime I get a call to talk to Paul Metsa, that's an easy layup, man. I'm in a heartbeat. You, of course, have a big show coming up here at the Parkway Theater. The Cats Under the Star 50th anniversary show. That's going to be at the Parkway coming up here on Sunday, December 28th, 6 p.m. doors, 7 o'clock show starts. Do you have the entire Cats Under the Star alumni coming in there?
We've got that and more. I want to mention one of our original members, Skip Elmark, passed away a few years ago. He was our banjo and bass player. It was his birthday today. We got to send heavenly birthday wishes to Skip.
Indeed.
But the three big dogs, the OGs of the Cats, the big Cats, myself, Jack Pasternacki, and Tim O'Keefe are there. We picked up the drummer, Joe Loma, Eveleth native, in 1977. And Al Oikery, we picked him up playing keyboards in 82. And so they're all there. And our special guest, Jimmy Anton on bass, who I gave a very first gig to in 85 with the Paul Metsa group when he just came from Boston, the Berklee School of Music. He's 18 years old. He played for years with Johnny Lang, Paul Westerberg, Peter Strushko, and more. We've got Sonny Earl, the harmonica player. I've been playing with Paul Metsa and Sonny Earl since 97.
Icon.
Our good friend Tommy Lieberman, who was in the band Rio Nito, who I moved to Ridgewood Avenue in Minneapolis in 77 because I knew one guy in town, and that was Tommy Lieberman. And Tommy was a great musician. He performed on some of the original Prairie Home Companion shows with Garrison Keillor, and then played around with Rio Nito for years. And so he was one of our first buddies. So we're going to have him. And then I discovered these two lovely ladies that you've heard at my birthday party, the Tiltown Titanettes, that are coming down to play.
And by the way, still one of the better names I've ever heard, the Tiltown Titanettes, that's for sure. And they were fantastic. In early November, we had your big celebration, your big party, and they were fantastic.
My 40th birthday party.
I thought it was 29, man.
No, they're great, and so we're gonna start acoustic. I'm gonna start solo, tell the story, bring Tim O'Keefe on, who I met the first day of high school in '73. We were seniors. We started playing together the day after that. Then Jack Pasternacki started playing with us about a year later. We had a band at the time called Hot Walleye.
Yeah.
It was our northern Minnesota take on the band Hot Tuna, who we adored, with Skip Elmark. Then we named ourselves Cats Under the Stars in 1975, August 17th, 1975. I'd read an article by Robert Hunter, the lyricist for the Grateful Dead, who wrote a stoner comedy article in Crawdaddy magazine called Cats Under the Stars. It had nothing to do with the Dead, but I clipped it out of the magazine. I said, this is a great name for a band. So we went from Hot Walleye to Cats Under the Stars. Turns out Jerry Garcia put out a record called Cats Under the Stars in 1978. So by the time we got to Minneapolis, people thought we were a Grateful Dead cover band. Now, we did play long songs.
Yes.
And we were a dance band. So we were probably one of the first jam bands before there was such a thing. And then as the universe would have it, 7 years to the day, we opened up for Robert Hunter, the lyricist for the Grateful Dead, at Duffy's. If you remember Duffy's next to Mr. Nibs in South Minneapolis. So yeah, we had a good 10-year run, and we've played on and off over the years, but this will be our fourth 50th anniversary show, but the first one in Minneapolis proper. And I played the Parkway Theater uh, two or three times, and we just love the place.
Oh,
So get to get
right.
back to South Minneapolis and to see our West Bank friends and more. We're very excited. We can't wait.
You talk about the jam band and kind of the influence on you, but let's go real. That's blues. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just you go to these old gin joints, man. The guys would be playing. They'd play 12, 15-minute long songs just because they were figuring out the jam as they go. I mean, that's as classic as music gets.
well, that you're absolutely right, Matt. And a lot of those guys were getting jacked up on whiskey.
Yes.
We did a little bit of that. We used to smoke a few left-handed cigarettes before
Okay.
we performed as well. We assumed that marijuana was legal in the 70s on the Iron Range. Now we found out it is legal, but somehow that passed us by. But we did love to uh, keep the jams going. And I mean, I remember one time at the Union Bar. You've been to the Union Bar, right,
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
We played Take Five by Dave Brubeck and Paul Desmond. We played Take Five for the entire first set. 45 minutes.
That is a jam band piece right there. My goodness. Well, the piece
But people,
itself, Brubeck's piece is like is I mean, if I mean I've heard the classic one. I think it's like a 10-minute long piece. So you went four times long. Nicely done.
yeah, well, and we were also, if I can brag a little bit,
Sure.
which I want to do, we were one of the first bands one of the first white bands to start playing reggae. And in fact, we just re-released our single. We did a reggae version of Louie Louie that we just released digitally. If you go to Paul Metsa, my Bandcamp page, you can stream it for free or buy it. But the other thing that was unique about Cats Under the Stars, we met a guy who was a salesman for City Pages, and he was from New Orleans. So he brought us these tapes. He goes, I think you're going to really love this band called the Neville Brothers. So we got hip to the Neville Brothers, and we
Yeah.
started doing Iko Iko and Brother John and all that great New Orleans music. And there was a handful of people in Minneapolis back then that used to go down to the Jazz Fest. So we really connected with those folks. I've got to tell you a fun story. When I was thinking about the Cats history in Minneapolis in 1982, Moby Dix, the legendary Moby Dix on 7th and Hennepin,
Yep.
had been a big stage and started having music. The same man, Mike Starnes, got us our big gig, our first gig in downtown Minneapolis at Moby Dix. So we went there, and there was a guy named Bobby Gold. He was the manager, man. He had the '80s perm and the shirt buckled down and just above his navel and the bling and so he's showing us. He goes, yeah. He goes, you can put your lights all the way. We've got a new light rack. Put them all the way across the top of the stage. We said, Bobby, don't worry about it, man. We only have one light. But they loved us. We played there. I mean, we're the only band, I know for a fact, man, we are the only band in Minneapolis that played both Moby Dix and the Prairie Home Companion.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me. I would have thought some bands would have come over from Moby Dix, but I guess Well, I want to go back to something you said. I mean, okay, so you guys start on the range. You start
Yeah.
there, and one of the things that you have talked about before was there was plenty of gigs because I imagine you had opportunities, but just not a lot of supply. And so a band like Cats on the Stars, you get out there and you start doing shows all over the place because people are desperate to get shows out there. And that creates a better quality musician. The fact that you and everyone else in that band is still playing an instrument tells you that the beginnings and those opportunities and you guys earning your stripes, playing any show you can really pays off. And I mean, if there's your lesson right there. You want a band that's going to last 50 years. When you have an opportunity like that, you take advantage of it.
Well, and that was, we had a rule of thumb how we used to get gigs back then. We started out playing acoustic. We did bluegrass and country and acoustic blues. And we had banjos and mandolins and things. But we realized that if we plugged in and went electric, we could start playing in bars. Now we played a few bars acoustic, but trying to mic acoustic instruments in bars never worked out. And now everything you can electrify acoustic instruments.
Yeah.
Back then you couldn't. But our deal was we would call bands across our bars across the range and go, we were Cats on the Stars. Give us a weeknight, $100 and free beer, and we'll play your club. Every bar owner in town wanted music during the week. And we had developed a really nice little following. And so that's really how we started to play, was during the week. Now we played on the weekends, but there was bars. We played in Hibbing and Aurora and by Waback and Mountain Iron and Ely and Cook. You name a town on the Iron Range, and Cats and Stars played there at one point.
Isabella? Did you ever play Isabella?
We played Isabella. We like to say, Matt, we played, there was called there was two sisters that ran it. They had a bar, the Chainsaw Twins. Okay. The Chainsaw Sisters.
Chainsaw Twins. Okay.
In Isabella that we played. Now, we also like to say we are one of the few bands in Minnesota that's actually done a full portage into the BWCA.
Did you play in where was this at?
We went into, we just took some canoes, took our acoustic instruments, and went to whatever we got as far as the first lake. We said, this is far enough. We're done paddling. Let's camp and play. And that's one of our claims to fame.
Did you go all the way up to Loon Lake? Did you go to Loon River up to Loon Lake? Because that's a heck of a row.
I used to, when I was in high school, a buddy of mine and we used to volunteer for Youth for Christ as camp counselors because we got all of our camping for free. Now, we learned early on, basically, Youth for Christ, God bless them, literally and figuratively, they would take, I don't know if you can use the word juvenile delinquents anymore, but these were wayward kids looking for a better path in life. So Chuck and I, we did it all summer long. We take out kids 5 or 6 days at a time. But Chuck and I found out early on, if we brought a handful of pack of cigarettes, and these kids were 12 to 15 or 16, and if we slowly doled out the cigarettes, they would carry our canoes for us.
Well, there you go. Because that was okay. Are you sure that the pronunciation of Christ in the title wasn't Christ? Because it might have been. I mean, I appreciate it as a Christian myself. I'm good with this, but yeah. I'm sure now I'm hoping that anyone that was involved in this has long left this mortal coil, and henceforth there's no crimes been committed. But okay,
the guy actually, you would know this, Matt. You know that beautiful Veterans Memorial on the shores of Bailey's Lake, in Virginia.
Yeah,
the guy Gareth Andrews was the sculptor that did that. He used to be known as Gary Andrews, and he was the guy that quote unquote hired us to be guides at for those camping expeditions back in the early 1970s.
Dangling cigarettes in front of juvenile delinquents to get them to carry your canoe while you're playing a guitar behind them. That is okay. Perfect.
That's the Iron Range, baby.
That is actually, that is the Iron Range. That is 100% the Iron Range. Folks, Cats Under the Stars, the 50th anniversary show. Are you going to have more stories like this to go?
Oh, we're going to tell stories all night long.
Beautiful.
I mean, that's one of the great things about getting back together with the guys. Number one, it's very rare in life to have close friends for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Very rare to be able to play with them on and off for 50 years, watch them grow as musicians. But we have, as close friends, we've watched our parents pass away. We've watched guys in the band get married and then divorced and have kids, go through medical conditions. And we've got, besides the Cats, there's probably another 12 or 15 Iron Rangers that we get together with once a summer and at Christmas every time. And it's part of kind of the beauty of the Iron Range. When you make a friend, you keep a friend.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm 57 years old. I still know the names and the people from when I was 4, 5, 6 years old. Up at Esquagama in Virginia, up in Britt. I knew them all.
And I would know a lot of those last names.
Oh yeah, we all everyone does, and
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things where it's a different vibe. So for everyone in the Twin Cities, if you're a Ranger, this is just basically a homecoming for you to go to this concert, and it's fantastic. It is during the holidays, and once again, it is going to be on. This is Sunday, December 28th. At the Parkway Theater, Paul Metsa and Friends. It's the 50th anniversary show for Cats Under the Stars, and pretty much they're all going to be there. And tickets are available. I'll put the link out. It's the Parkway Theater. The Parkway Theater is where it's at. I'll put the link out to this a little bit later on. And of course, these stories, Paul Metsa is the best storyteller I know. And because
I got to say one more thing about the Parkway.
Okay.
You might have known Joe Majoris. He was a comedian, and he and his wife had Pepitos next door to the Parkway.
Yeah,
and he was the guy that really rehabbed the theater to start having movies again, because there was a movie theater in the 30s and 40s, and started having comedy and music, and they're doing a great job now. I did my 30th anniversary there. We sold it out for my first from the first week I played in town, and Joe helped promote it. And my Iron Range friends came down. We still hold the record for the greatest bar sales at the Parkway Theater, and we've been holding it for 20 years. So we want to invite all of our Iron Range friends down. Now, a friend of mine, one of my crazy buddies, goes, Metsa, what's the difference between your club show and your theater show? I said, $25 at the door.
Yeah.
It's money well spent, though.
It is very much money well spent, and of course it's a once in a lifetime thing because it's the only 50th anniversary show of Cats Under the Stars. Go see this, and if like I said, if you love the Iron Range, you're from the Iron Range, this is where you need to be. And once again, it's on Sunday the 28th, so it's after Christmas. You need something to do that week. There you go, Paul. All my best, my friend. Let's see.
Likewise, man.
You need to let me know if you break you create a new record at the Parkway, okay?
Well, back then the band could. Now most of us kind of sobered up, but I'm sure there's a few Iron Range rounders out there that could step up for us.
USA. All right, let's go. Paul Metsa. Paul, as always, an absolute privilege, my friend. You take care up north. You stay warm, and we'll see you on the 28th.
Great. And my show, Wallop Power Radio Hour, this 6 o'clock this Saturday, I will be interviewing Jack Pasternacki and Tim O'Keefe from Cats Under the Stars.
Beautiful. And I should also mention, if I can, not only, so that's of course, Metsa's show on the weekend here. As well, also on the brand new to you shows that we've got starting on Tuesday, the first day, 4 o'clock hour. It's all Metsa, all hour. So make sure you listen to that as well.
Paul Metsa, king of all media.
There you go. Paul Metsa. It's Wall Power Radio Hour this weekend. And then, of course, Tuesday, 4 o'clock hour, a full hour with Paul. Paul, thank you very much, and all my best. Congratulations.
Happy holidays to all the beautiful people out there in the AM 950 radio land.
Thank you very much. And by the way, when we do come on back, I'm going to give away a pair of tickets to the Cats Under the Stars 50th anniversary show at the Parkway Theater on Sunday, December 28th. That's when we come back from the break. It is the Matt McNeil Show here on your Thursday.